What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Our Brains Hurt. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks for listening and downloading and streaming or wherever you get our podcasts. Thanks for being here every week. We appreciate it. You're the best. Now, let's get to the show.
Well, they needed a jingle for their stupid little show, so they called up the Jasons and we said, fuck no. Then they called us again and they gave us $20 and we wrote them a song that said, your podcast sucks. Then they gave us more money and they asked us really nice and we finally gave in and we said, all right, I'll write you a song, but it's gonna be a clone of a Screeching Weasel song that we heard a while ago. So we wrote them a jingle and it sounded really rad. It was the best little jingle that the podcast ever had, but the file got corrupted and the email didn't work. Now they're stuck without a jingle singing Our Brains Hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. Our brains hurt, our brains hurt, our brains hurt. In a very non-copyright infringing sort of way.
We got Oz, the great and powerful.
He's back.
He's back, and we're discussing one of my favorite things of all time, 80s teen movies.
Oh. No, I'm just kidding. I love 80s. I love the 80s and their movies.
Yes.
What's up?
Man? What's up, Matt?
How are you?
You know, I'm doing all right. How are you
Good.
guys?
Good. Drinking coffee because I worked a night last night.
Oh, you should get some chocolate covered espresso beans. Just pop those things like candy.
Only if Palmer's made them.
They go really good with red wine.
Palmer's does.
Not the Palmers.
No.
The Palmers goes well with bloody red stool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Palmer's goes great with a knife to the throat.
Well, it creates bloody red stool, I guess. So I guess that's why it goes well with it.
And that's before the explosion.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
But not the chocolate dust explosion though. That was real. That wasn't alleged.
That was a real thing.
Yeah.
So I did some research onto why certain chocolates are shittier than others, particularly
Let's hear it.
candy bars.
Is it because they're made by Palmer's?
No. Well, that's what's the number one rule. If it's made by Palmer's, it's shitty chocolate.
Yeah.
That's chocolate. When you go to chocolate school, if that's a thing, that's the first thing they tell you on day one. They take attendance and then they tell you the number one rule is if Palmer makes it, it sucks.
Chocolate school. I have to look into this chocolate school. I've never heard of this before.
Well, chocolatiers are a thing. I don't know if it's like Willy Wonka status, but I'm pretty sure that there is like a formalized training for some of that.
There's chocolatiers?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, you didn't know this? This is like
chocolate making is like a legit.
It's
I know that.
It's a culinary profession.
Yeah.
Like it's.
I just didn't realize they were called chocolatiers.
Hell yeah.
They're like, it's like a musketeer, except not cool.
Except tastier.
Except I don't know about that, man. Some of those musketeers are pretty hot.
That's true. But so my favorite candy bar of all time is Baby Ruth. That's my favorite candy bar. But the chocolate on that candy bar is Nestle chocolate is subpar to Hershey's, in my opinion. And I researched this, and it's because Nestle uses a chocolate compound when they cover their candy bars. They don't use milk chocolate.
Oh, those motherfuckers.
Yeah, and chocolate compound is like milk chocolate mixed with like vegetable oil and all this other shit to make it cheaper. And they figure since it's just coating the candy bar, people aren't going to really notice the difference.
That actually gives me a new respect for Palmer's, because Palmer's doesn't try to hide that shit.
No, Palmer's is all vegetable oil.
Here's our shitty chocolate.
Yeah. No, but yeah, Palmer's uses a shittier compound just for their chocolate with nothing inside. Yeah. And they're like on the surface, they're like, this is what we are. Yeah.
Here's our shitty chocolate.
Yeah.
Now Nestle, would you say it was Nestle that does that?
Nestle. If you buy a Nestle, just a solid chocolate bar, it's milk chocolate, but they coat their candy bars with chocolate compound, not milk chocolate. That's why a Nestle candy bar tastes a little off.
I always get the dark chocolate ones anyways.
Oh, okay.
So if I get one.
Ron's right. So their ingredients contains Sugar, cocoa, milk, vegetable oil, soy lecithin, and artificial flavoring.
Yeah.
And some contains crispy rice.
Yeah.
No,
But I
Nestle.
think Hershey's actually coats their candy with actual like their regular milk chocolate, I think.
Is it Hershey?
I don't know. Hershey, maybe they do now. You know, cost effective and whatnot.
Yeah.
So Hershey's uses sugar, milk, cocoa butter, chocolate, and soy lecithin. So
No vegetable oil.
no,
Yeah.
no, I'm not seeing it.
So I think that's just the recipe for like milk chocolate.
Wow.
Yeah, Hershey's the real deal, yo.
Yeah, Hershey's is the best. I think Cadbury's is the best chocolate overall, but I think Hershey's is the best American. I mean, Cadbury's is probably American by now. I'm sure it's
Who
owned by
owns Cadbury?
the Queen of England. I don't know. The bunny.
She's dead.
The Easter Bunny owns Cadbury. You asshole.
Oh yeah, my
Dude,
bad.
The Cadbury commercials over in England are fucking weird.
I don't think I've only been to England in the summer, so. Well, actually, no. Like, you're talking about not just Easter Cadbury. You're talking like regular.
Just Cadbury. No, just like the cream eggs are. The commercials are really. Let's see if I can find one. Here,
just
look
like
at this. Look at this in your spare time.
Okay.
It's just like the commercials for my homeland, the Netherlands. The Dutch commercials are off the charts.
Yeah, that is a wacky place, the Netherlands.
Yeah, it's because I got mine now, Ron. You know how for you it's like I'm not perverted, I'm just Italian.
Yeah.
So I got mine now, which is I'm not crazy, I'm just Dutch.
But would the Dutch claim you?
Yeah, you crazy Dutch bastard.
Would they claim you though?
Oh yeah, they absolutely would. I'll have to send you this commercial, this Netherlands commercial on Instagram. It's fucking hilarious. I love the Dutch's comedy on television. It's so fucked up.
Yeah.
You would never get away with playing some of these commercials in the US.
There's a commercial in Italy for a food item called Sacoccio, which is in the same exact spelling as my last name too. And it freaks me out because the way they say it is so funny.
We have to buy this and try it.
It's a bag that you put chicken in and shake it and cook, and it's almost like a shake and bake type thing, but it's Sacoccio. Yeah, if you look up Sacoccio Italian commercial.
Your name is a marinade bag?
My last name means small sack.
Nuh-uh.
100%. My nickname in high school was Little Sack because for some reason I decided to tell people that. Sacoccio means little sack.
How has this not come up before on this podcast?
Because it's not something I brag about all the time, Matt.
well, here we are.
But here we go.
Yeah.
Yes. Sacoccio in Italian means small or little sack or satchel. All right. I don't know what the fuck my ancestors were up to when that happened. It just happened. And one of them was at the gym in the 1400s. He went to the gym and somebody saw his nuts. And now my last name means little sack.
This is. I wish I knew what my last name meant. As far as I know, it doesn't mean anything.
When I was in high school or maybe middle school, my parents ordered this you could order this framed plaque with your coat of arms and the meaning of your last name. And they bought it and put it up in the living room. I was like, why are you displaying this? That's literally the worst. I would rather my last name mean rapist or murderer than little sack. Anyway, if you Google Sacoccio Italian commercial, it's really funny. It's a product called the Sacoccio chicken Sacoccio or
Yeah.
something like that. And
Like, yeah, I guess with like rapist or murderer, they'd be like, at least he's witty.
yeah,
But like, but like with like little sack, they're like, yeah.
anything in a little sack becomes Sacoccio. Maybe my ancestors were like the first drug dealers.
Oh, this is why your family's in the mob.
Yes. So I was like the first dime bag before dime bag.
Yeah.
They just didn't translate it properly. My last name really means dime bag.
And you shake it to be sure it's full. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, you could just say that, and technically, it's not a
That's
lie.
true. That's true.
You're like, my last
Technically.
name means dime bag. So I'm basically a dime piece. It's right there in the name. Well, since Ron mentioned Baby Ruth earlier, being a candy bar and talking about chocolate, that's a good segue into the actual topic of the evening, which is 80s movies,
That is a
or at
good
least
segue.
80s teen movies, because Baby Ruth, Goonies.
Goonies.
Yes.
I just have one question about that.
Yeah.
At the end of that movie, because Ron, you and I talked about the octopus thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end of the movie, there's the octopus thing, which is weird, and then there's that part where Chunk is talking to Sloth, and he's like, "You're gonna live with me now."
Yeah.
What? Like, he just like straight up told him that without even like consorting with his parents.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, and then like what they just like go over there, and then he's like, "Hey, mom and dad, this 7-foot retarded guy
Who lives off of ice cream and Baby Ruth.
let me just he's got a big heart though.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna come live with us. I don't think he's potty trained.
Yeah.
Maybe he is. I don't know, but he's real cheap to feed.
He's been chained up in a basement for months because of the fear of killing his own brothers.
Yeah,
But he's gonna be fine.
yeah. Like, all we got to do is show him a little love, and like maybe try not to touch his ears.
Yes.
Yeah, because he might. A whole bunch of other 80s movies here.
Yeah, I
Oz.
had a pretty extensive list of shit I went through, and I'm trying to think of like what started this trend in my life, but I've made no mention of my enjoyment of synth, like it's called like synthwave, where we did for 2023 we did our top favorite albums from that year.
Yeah.
For me, it was just stuff that I found, and that's when I talked about bands like that I had come across that year, like the Midnight and Add 1980, where there's like contemporary attempts to recreate that kind of music from the 80s.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty well done. So I just I came across a series of books on Audible, and one of them was a free book that I had come across called You Couldn't Ignore Me If You Tried. It was actually about the Brat Pack movies.
Oh, nice.
So basically the John Hughes anthology.
Yeah.
So because he was a writer for National Lampoon magazine, so he did a writer on the Versification movie, and then he had a bunch of other movies. He did Mr. Mom, he did Uncle Buck, he did The Great Outdoors, both Home Alones, and then Ferris Bueller, Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles.
Yeah.
Some Kind of Wonderful. Yeah, all the movies in the 80s that that
Took
dudes
place in
ended up
Chicago.
getting laid to.
Yeah, that took place in like in the same area of Chicago, and
Yeah, yeah.
it's theorized that like all his movies take place in the same universe, and I think I don't think that's unreasonable to think.
No, it fits. It definitely fits, I think.
It's kind of like how people theorize that Stephen King's books all take place in the same universe.
Yeah.
Oh, he also did Career Opportunities, Say Anything, or no, I don't know if he did anything, if he did say anything, but I think he consulted on it or something like that.
It sounds right that he
Definitely
had
right up his
something, at
alley.
least something to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the book was mainly about his stuff and like the stars he had influenced and things like that. So Molly Ringwald, Michael Anthony Hall are a couple of the recurring characters. Emilio
Yeah.
Estevez, Charlie Sheen, Robert Downey Jr. too, which is
Yep.
pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So at some point I had been and there's also a book on Audible called Passable in Pink, which is a satire about all those movies. And the writer Mike Sachs takes Sachs, no pun intended, based on what we were just talking about.
Maybe he's a distant cousin of mine.
Could be.
Almost definitely.
We used to feud with the Big Sack clan. We were like the Capulets and the Montagues.
Yeah.
Little Shakespeare joke for all you scholars out there.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I
got
said
it.
either of those last two names correct. Capulet and Is it Montague or Montague? I don't know, whatever.
Montague.
Okay, yeah.
Oh no, it's a story about two people that die in the end, so who gives a shit?
I
No,
was-
were
I
you
was
old
in-
enough, Oz? You weren't old enough to see any of these movies in real time, though, right?
No, because I was born in '86,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
I was present during the time period, but I didn't see Ferris Bueller until I was probably 12 or 13. So it was kind of long after, but wasn't so far away where it was like this is pretty good and I can relate to this. And then
Ferris Bueller is a movie that I absolutely loved. I still love it. But when I was a teenager and a kid, I loved that movie. I thought he was the coolest guy ever. But as an adult, when I watched that movie, I'm like, this dude's a fucking dickhead. Like, he's such an asshole. He's such a fucking he's just a sociopath, and he's a total dick. So it's almost annoying to watch that movie as an adult. I still love it, and I always will. But
so like every high school teenager.
yeah, pretty much. But he just ruined Cameron's life. Like he's just such a fucking dick in that movie as an adult watching it. It's like, oh, what are you doing?
Yeah, well, he's manipulative as hell.
Yeah.
He's insane. Like breaking the fourth wall. If you narrate your own life and talk about your thoughts out loud like that,
yeah,
and you do it in public, people are gonna think you're a fucking idiot and think you're probably crazy.
Yeah. And the scene at the end when they try to reverse the fucking mileage on the car still gives me anxiety every time I watch it. I'm like, oh, Cameron's dad's gonna kill him.
So I think the idea is that the movie is supposed to be more about Cameron than Ferris.
Yeah.
There's also some fun fan theories that Ferris is a figmentation of Cameron's imagination, which would be kind of interesting.
Yeah. So Ferris is the figment of Cameron's imagination?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he's so like there's that scene like when his first appearance in the movie, he's laying in bed.
Yeah.
The camera pans to the side of his bed. It has all the drugs.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's thought that he's so
ODing on cold medicine and shit.
Yeah, he's so high off of whatever he's on that he's seeing this whole thing and that it's like he's on a mental break.
Yeah.
And that he's going on this trip with his friends.
That's funny.
I've heard this theory before.
Yeah.
I've heard it about the Big Lebowski. I've heard that
let's hear that one.
So I heard that what's it Steve Buscemi's character. What's his name?
Donnie.
I heard that Donnie doesn't exist, that he's just in Walter's imagination, he's somebody that he lost in Vietnam. Because the dude never directly, I don't think the dude ever interacts with Donnie directly. I don't think he does. And I think that the dude just kind of lets him have his weird whatever. That's one of those fan theories though, that Donnie never existed. He was just a figment of Walter's imagination. But that gets complicated at the end when they actually have his ashes and it blows all over the dude. So, which is one of the funniest fucking scenes.
It's such a weird movie. Like it's cool because it's like, pretty original,
Yeah.
even for its time when original movies were still happening.
Right.
Um,
Totally.
but yeah, but like total, just out of left field movie.
Yeah, and you forget that fucking what's his name is in that. I mean, there's so many people in that movie you just forget until you watch it again. Philip Seymour Hoffman's in that movie. Like, it's just like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Is that
What?
movie based off of anything?
Not that I know of.
Yeah,
Which is pretty wild because that is like as original a concept as you could possibly get.
Yeah,
It's
like,
so out there.
like it seems like it would be based off of like a book, that some famous like
Yeah.
that that like fucking maybe God damn it, why can't I remember his name? The dude who wrote Fear and Loathing. Why can't I think of his fucking name?
Oh, the reporter, the
Hunter S. Thompson.
Hunter S. Thompson.
Yes, thank you, Hunter S. Thompson. It seems like something that like maybe Hunter S.
Yeah.
Thompson would have written, but
Totally.
but it's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing about that movie is that like there's things that work and things that don't. Like Ferris's girlfriend Sloane is just there.
Yeah.
They give her no personality whatsoever. It's just like they're picking her up. That's it.
Right.
I mean, it can't really kind of flesh out that his dad treats him like shit. His mom is like not there.
Yeah.
And so they build him a little bit. They clearly spend the most time building Ferris up, but his girlfriend's just kind of there. And
Yeah,
she wants to marry him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Also,
typical 80s female supporting character trope.
yeah, and like The Simpsons, this film predicted the future in two ways. Here's why. Okay, so we have Rooney, who's the principal, who is way too interested in Ferris.
Yes.
And what he is or isn't doing. He even goes to, I mean, there's gonna be spoilers here anyway, so I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've
seen these
all
movies
seen
by
this.
now. You can go fuck yourself.
Yeah, go watch the movie.
Yeah.
Go watch the movie if you want to see what we're talking about, because there's the context of us talking about it, and there's actually seeing it for yourself. But he spends way too much time obsessing over, Ferris. He even goes to his house and breaks in.
Yeah.
Because that's not weird at all.
Right.
That guy, that actor, ended up being a sex offender.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Jeremy. Wait, what's his name?
He was in Howard the Duck. He was in Stay Tuned. He was in Beetlejuice.
He was in the head what's it called? The Headless Horseman.
Jeffrey
Sleepy
Jones.
Hollow.
Jeffrey Jones.
Jeffrey Jones. Yeah.
Jeffrey Jones.
Yeah, not that Jeffrey Jones. but another one.
Yeah.
It was Flavor Aid.
That's Jim Jones.
That's Jim Jones.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And the other one was that Charlie Sheen. He appears in the police station. He's just kind of there. He ends up stealing a lot of the show just because he's just so like his appearance is just random.
Yep.
And he ends up doing, I think, the most believable, some of the more believable acting in that.
Yeah.
And he says he's on drugs.
Yep.
Well, about
20,
38 years later, there
Huge
we are.
Mental breakdown, drug induced.
He's still on drugs.
He clearly was winning.
Yeah, he shares a thing with like Ferris's sister, right? For like a second in
they make it. They're
she
making
falls
out.
in love with him.
Yeah.
He's wearing his leather jacket. His hair's all like spiked up and wavy.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
He sure did.
Hey guys, Trev from the Struggling Artist Podcast, and I want to talk to you real quick about Struggling Artist Record Club. The Struggling Artist Record Club is a vinyl record subscription service where I hunt and curate the best punk and punk adjacent music out there and mail their record to your door each and every month. Imagine finding your new favorite band from across the country without ever having to leave the house. It doesn't get much better than that. The excitement of discovering new music just got that much easier. As a member of the Struggling Artist Record Club, you are going to receive some of the best music you've ever heard from bands you may never even heard of. Whether you've been collecting records for years or just starting out, The Struggling Artist Record Club is designed specifically for you. And right now, all new members get a Struggling Artist Record Club exclusive along with the monthly selection. So head to strugglingartistrecordclub.com, pick a membership, and start building that collection today.
Which is funny because that actress got a nose job for some reason because she didn't like her nose, and then everybody hated her.
Yeah.
Jennifer Grey.
Yeah.
I have to think. So I'm looking up these movies now because I don't think I've seen them, but I don't think I've ever seen Career Opportunities.
Had Jennifer Connelly and some other dude who I think had some roles, but I think this just kind of ultimately disappeared.
Isn't
Okay, it looks kind of familiar. Frank Whaley's in it.
Apparently,
Michael Caine's not in that, is he?
No.
no. He was in
I
Living
know
at
the
Rio.
movie. I know the movie. Oh yeah. I think I'm mixing those two movies up. That's exactly what I'm doing.
No, Career Opportunities is the one where the kid in high school is working overnights at Target. Jennifer Connelly is like
Yeah.
the daughter of some rich dude who neglects her, so she ends up like spending the night in Target.
Oh no, I've definitely seen it.
Okay.
I had a thing for Jennifer Connelly when I was little. I mean, I still kind of do, but
Or man.
Yeah, I never saw Some Kind of Wonderful.
I didn't either, so that's one of the ones I wanted to watch but didn't get around to. But so it's that kind of segues back to Pretty in Pink, where Molly Ringwald's character is in love with a rich guy,
Yeah.
and the best friend Ducky, who is played by John Cryer,
Yeah.
is in love with her, but she ends up going with the rich guy, Blaine. It's played by Andrew
McCarthy.
Yeah. And the audience hated the ending where she and Ducky ended up together, John Cryer.
Okay. Yeah.
But they loved the ending. Like, audiences loved the ending where so they had the original ending, which had John Cryer and Molly Ringwald going to the dance together and kind of ending up together. Hated it. So they ended up rewriting the end of the script so that she ended up with Andrew McCarthy's character.
Weird.
Yeah.
Poor John Cryer. He never gets the girl.
And then so the inverse of that is that Some Kind of Wonderful is the opposite of that, where the main character goes with the best friend who's madly in love with them.
Yeah, so Pretty in Pink is also one that I think I might have seen once way back in the day. I don't like Pretty in Pink and St. Elmo's Fire. I know I've seen them, but I don't remember them that well.
St. Elmo's Fire.
But Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, and Fast Times at Ridgemont High, those three movies I've seen 8 million times. And I don't think I've stopped watching them regularly since they came out in the 80s. Like I saw all three of those within the past 2 months for sure. Every time I'm at work, the AMC always runs like 80s movies, like every month or so. They'll do like
That's
2 nights in a
fantastic.
row of it. And I'll just, so those three movies and Ferris Bueller. But Breakfast Club and 16 Candles are two of my favorite movies of all time. Breakfast Club is really close to the top. Like, if we're taking out horror movies, Breakfast Club might be my favorite movie of all time.
Really?
Yeah, Anthony Michael Hall in that movie. Every time he opens his mouth, I can't stop laughing. He's just got the funniest.
It's true.
He's so ridiculously funny in that movie.
I mean,
Did you watch Weird Science?
Yes.
Dude, I was just about to say.
Yeah.
I was just about to
Yeah.
say that movie.
Yeah.
Because that movie fucking rules. I love that movie so much.
So I had that was on Netflix in like I think it was 2012 is when I saw it the first time. And I remember just being like, it was clear that, Anthony Michael Hall has been in, 3 John Hughes movies. But I watched it the other night because I went to Walmart and I went through their $5 DVD bin and I found a bunch of these movies. So I found the 4-pack that had Animal House, Weird Science, Fast Times at Richmond High, and Dazed and Confused.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And then
Dazed and Confused.
So
Pretty
good.
in Pink was $3.
Nice.
But I remember, I don't remember Weird Science being as funny back then.
Yeah.
It was there was early in the movie I was laughing my ass off.
It's all about some Troy.
Yeah, he goes in. They go into that bar. The record stops. Everybody's like, "What the fuck are these people doing here?" And then, oh God, what was this? Gary and what the hell was the other kid's name?
Oh,
Doesn't matter. He walks into the bathroom and he's just like, "Hey, dudes!" They all the guys are standing there taking a piss. They're all looking at him. He's like, eh. And then he backs into the stall. The door closes. Camera pans. Then you see two pairs of feet. Somebody is like, "Well, goddamn!" And I was like, "What the fuck just happened?"
That
Yeah,
movie's so weird too, because it's got like
it is.
it's got like when that scene where Bill Paxton is turned into like a booger or something, or like
It's a
whatever
shit
He's supposed
monster.
the shit monster.
It's a giant shit. Yeah, it's a giant piece of shit.
Yeah, and then the scene with like the biker that like deformed biker gang that comes like apocalyptic biker gang that comes into their party. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like they fight.
Yeah.
It's just so
Yes.
it gets really really weird in a couple spots. I mean,
I love
it is
that
called
movie
Weird
so
Science.
much.
It's such a good movie. Yeah.
That is one of Bill Paxton's like most underrated roles. Like he's so good in that
He's
movie.
so good in that movie. Yeah.
He is such a dick.
Yeah.
I know.
He
He
does it so
is.
well.
He's so good at playing a dick.
Oh, somebody who I can't forget about is that Pretty in Pink. Fucking James Spader. God bless that man. He's an American treasure. He is he is such a cunt. And you're just
Yeah.
like you love him for it. And
Yes.
he gets better with age.
The ultimate
Yeah.
80s
No
to
joke.
now villain. Yeah, he's the ultimate villain, especially if you grew up like if you're Matt and my age, you when you think villain, you think James Spader.
It's funny too, because like he's like James Spader's an underrated actor because he is really, really good at playing the villain. But then you see a movie like Stargate
Yeah.
and he plays like the nerdy computer geek, and he's so good at that too.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you forget all about how he's such a good fucking villain.
Yep.
Not that like Stargate was the, you know,
I know what you mean.
greatest thing ever, but it's a Kurt Russell movie, so I've watched it a million times.
Hell yeah.
That man is a national treasure.
He sure is.
Did you guys ever see something genius? God damn it. It's slightly older than Weird Science from like the early 80s with Val Kilmer. What the hell is the name of that movie? Hang on a second.
Oh, Top Secret?
No, that's great too. But this is when he's like a college nerd, Real Genius.
Oh yeah, Real Genius. Yeah. Great. That's a great
That's
flick.
a great one too.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
And that's right up there. That's right kind of in line with Weird Science, but Real Genius is a great movie.
Yeah, because like Top Secret, I think was like Val Kilmer's first like kind of big movie, if not his first movie. But then Real Genius put him on the map.
Yeah. Oz, check out Real Genius to continue your 80s.
I'll check it out.
And Uncle Rico is in that movie. He's the guy who lives in the closet.
Oh,
Uncle Rico from yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. Real Genius. Ha. Uncle Rico is the guy that's in the closet.
Yeah. And then the dickhead from Ghostbusters is the dean of the.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he's in Animal House too, isn't he?
No, I don't think he's in Animal House.
Is he not? What? Who am I thinking of? Shit. Maybe I was confusing those two movies for a second in my head. But yes, he is the dickhead dean in Real Genius. That guy plays a good dickhead too.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
Shit. Somebody else that plays somebody else was thinking that plays a real. Oh no, Bill Paxton. What you already mentioned. Yeah, he's a fucking cunt. He's a total dick, and he does it. Yeah, he does it so well.
And he's in fucking Aliens.
Yeah, he did.
Game over, man.
So Oz, what was going through your little adventure of 80s? What was your favorite and least favorite?
With the movies that I went through, I was thinking about this. So I watched. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm kind of flipping around here because we're kind of jumping around. I'm trying to find I had notes. And I was in maybe half an hour in Adventures in Babysitting with Elizabeth Shue,
Yeah.
and I had 3 pages of notes.
Nice.
Like we're not gonna get through all this, but I'm jumping around because I'm just trying
This
to
could
like
be a
keep
multi-episode.
It really could,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to like have it be. I didn't want it to be like purely me talking about the movies, but I just wanted to like just
Yeah.
see what happens. And this has been fantastic. But like, you could have called that movie Adventures of Babysitting, Adventures of My Dumbass Friend.
Yeah.
You guys think about that? No, I'm not even kidding. Like her best friend is a fucking moron. Like that's the whole
Yeah.
cost of that movie.
Yeah.
That movie could have been 5 minutes. I'm down at the bus station. I'm leaving. Sorry, deal with it. Click.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
The end. And the girl.
I used to love that movie. I haven't watched it in eons.
It's not
Oz-
good.
Yeah,
It's fun to watch, but it's not good.
You know who Thor is in that movie, right?
Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That dude is a fucking chameleon. Vincent
Yeah, he is.
D'Onofrio. That dude is so good. You forget, like when you forget like who
It's-
the actor is and how many roles they've been. That's the true
Because
definition of really good.
he went from fucking that to fucking Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, Private Pilot. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, that dude. I always get Adventures in Babysitting confused with Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Oh yeah. Well, it's
Which I
because
wonder,
the
let's
kid,
see.
the actor, the oldest brother in Don't Tell Mom's Babysitting Dead is the brother in Adventures in Babysitting.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Adventures in Babysitting was 87 and Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead was 91. All right.
Yeah. It's the same dude who's in both
Keith
of them.
Coogan.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I found was interesting was that in between Pretty in Pink and casting choices for Pretty in Pink and 16 Candles is that in 16 Candles, Viggo Mortensen had auditioned to be Jake, like the love interest for Molly Ringwald. He was turned down, but it was just kind of like, that's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah.
What's also interesting is that Robert Downey Jr. was, I guess the idea of him was put forth to cast him for the role of Blaine in Pretty in Pink.
Huh.
Which is also kind of an interesting in itself because he was in Weird Science as one of the bullies.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. was?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Remember they tried to make another one there in his who was he it was Robert Downey and somebody else.
God, that's right.
Fuck.
Man, it's been so long since I've watched some of these
Yeah.
movies. Like, I used to watch all these movies like all the time, but like I probably should go back and watch some of them again because it's been a minute. But I remember a lot.
Yeah. Who was his? Let's see.
Movie's so good. It's so weird.
Yeah.
But it always comes back to Weird Science.
It does.
Yeah.
It's just like another movie that's super weird, makes absolutely no sense. It's a sequel, but it has nothing to do with the first movie, so it's not really a sequel. It's only a sequel by name. But it's far better than the first one because the first one is fucking terrible. But at the same time, the second one is also fucking terrible.
What movie are you talking about?
House 2.
House?
House and House 2.
Is House a horror movie?
They are both marketed as horror movies, but neither one is actually scary by any means. The second one is more of a comedy than it is a horror. The first one had Eric Stoltz in it, and it was so bad that he wouldn't come back for the second one, and they just got some guy that looked kind of like him to be the same
hilarious.
character. And it's so weird. It literally makes no sense whatsoever. But there's an adorable dogapillar. And by dogapillar, I mean half dog, half caterpillar.
What?
Yes. And it is. And it's the best part of the movie.
Wow.
And it's totally, because it was the 80s, it's totally like a puppet, so It's not like
Yeah.
some shitty ass CGI. Oh my god, it's so House 2. I used to watch it all the time, and it literally just makes absolutely no sense.
Wow.
Kind of like one of the movies that I'm in. I'm just kidding, just kidding.
One of the great
Wait.
cinema treasures of all time.
Matt, which role was that?
What?
Which role was that? The one that you said makes no sense.
Oh, House 2?
Oh, no, the one you were in.
Oh, the one I was in.
Yeah.
Well, there's two. The second one. So there's actually two movies out now that I'm in. The second one hit Amazon, and like I guess they didn't tell anybody.
Wait, it's out? Is it the bear one?
No, that one's not out. No, so there's a movie
Okay.
called Chum that I'm in,
Yes.
and then there's another movie called Killcast that I am in that just
that's
hit
out now,
Amazon.
too?
It is. It's on Amazon. You can rent it for a whopping just under $3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. I didn't know that.
Or
Well, I guess
or
you
you
didn't
can-
either until
I just found this out the other day. The bear one should be out relatively soon, though, sometime this year. And I did just get asked cast in 2 more movies. So
nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That was that one with the bear? Was that an actual bear or somebody dressed up like a bear?
It's somebody dressed up. It's dressed up like a bear, but it's more like a it's like a head and paws, and then like a jail jumpsuit, like an orange jumpsuit.
Nice.
Nice. I don't
And
know
actually,
if Matt's movies have the budget to hire a bear and bear trainer. I know you'll
But
get there,
the,
Matt. I'm just saying right now. I don't think.
But there is a lot of the scenes in that movie. I am the bear.
Nice. Yeah, you
Yeah,
are.
not my character. Well, yes. I mean, I
was in the same thing.
yeah, not my character in the movie. I was just also acting as the enemy, the bear, whatever, what have you.
Matt plays a bear, and it's a coming of age story that takes place in DuPont Circle in DC.
Well, not exactly DuPont. But there's some
Different
clubs. There's some basement clubs and some back alleys.
Matt gives
Played-
$5 paw jobs to dudes in that back alley.
Played dice behind a couple dumpsters. Lost a lot of money.
Nice.
Did some things I'm not proud of.
Speaking of things, I'm not. Go ahead, Ron.
No, I was gonna say I'm watching. I have like Good Times on in the background. I'm just watching. I'm not listening to it, obviously, because I'm podcasting. One of my favorite shows of all time. And I just freaked out because Shirley, from What's Happening, just broke into their apartment and is holding them all up with a gun. So like 2 worlds colliding. I didn't know Shirley was in other things besides What's Happening. Anyway, weird pause for weird 1970s TV moment.
Yeah.
Shirley from What's Happening.
You like pause, like in the bear, like pause. I used the best tool that I've been given in this world a couple times back there, my mouth.
Oh man, that's what the other bears in DuPont Circle have said.
I talked my way out. Talked.
I also watched Ghost in preparation for today, and Ghost. I hadn't actually seen Ghost in its entirety, and it's actually decent. I think it's a good movie. I didn't really have a lot of bad things to say about it, but one thing I did find different was that I had always believed that the scene where he's sitting with her while she does the pottery thing,
Yeah,
I thought he was dead then.
No.
My context until recently was the Family Guy episode, or the scene from Family Guy where Peter's a Ghostbuster and goes in and gets him. He's a ghost.
I thought he was dead then too.
Yeah, I thought he was dead.
No, yeah.
He's alive.
That's like the early, like, sexy, intimate scene of the movie.
Yeah, that was like early in the movie too. I thought that was at least halfway through.
They do pottery, and then they start to make a penis, and then they fuck.
So does she do it again later in the movie with him as a ghost?
No.
Oh,
No,
that's it.
it's there in
Yeah.
the beginning. But what I did find interesting is that there, like when she's forming the clay, he has this very particular look on his face where he's like what the fuck? And on YouTube, somebody redid that scene without the music and added some effects, and it's pretty amazing.
I can only imagine. Yeah, he starts doing the pottery with her and is kind of weirded out and then realizes, oh, yeah, we're making a penis.
I wonder if if you're forming that with your lady friend, if it starts to exceed the size of your own, do you kind of like squash it down so she doesn't get too, you know what I mean? Like it starts to get bigger and bigger, you kind of put your hand on top of it to keep it slightly smaller than your own, so she's not disappointed later. Like, oh, all right, we got it, we get it. Let's stop spinning. You know what I mean? You don't want to make this like foot long dick.
You don't want to make this
and
weird.
Then she turns around, you start making out, and then she pulls out 6 inches. You know what I mean? So you got to kind of like squash it. That's why he put his hands on hers. So like keep it below this, below. We can make it wider. We can make it as wide as you want, but it's not going above this height.
Well, really, you should. It's the width that you gotta be careful of.
Yeah, you don't want tuna can dick because that's not good either.
Well, no, I'm just saying. I think most women prefer a little wider than they would a little longer.
Yeah. As long as it's not tuna can.
Yeah, so you can't let it get too wide.
Yeah. So you're saying that chode is more preferable to some?
Well, not a chode. A chode is as wide as it. I've never understood why people came up with the term chode, because as wide as it is long is just a ball.
Yeah.
Or a square.
Yeah, totally. So I always thought chode meant taint.
No.
But apparently
a chode is a dick that's as wide as it is long.
Yeah, we had this conversation at band practice, actually. I was talking about taints. And then Dan said something about chode. I was like, chode is just taint. He's like, no, it's not. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I had to like look it up. I was like, I thought chode was just another name for taint.
Now you gotta get that Urban Dictionary out.
I know. What's the other word for taint?
There's many of them. The ABC, which is an acronym for ass ball connection.
Okay, I like that.
There's also
the gooch. That I think that's what I got confused with chode. Gooch.
There's also the grundle.
The grundle, yeah, the grundle. I've definitely heard the grundle. Okay, I think.
Yeah, one of the lesser known Smurfs lives there. Grundle Smurf.
Grundle Smurf.
They didn't let him on the show for obvious reasons.
Right. He's a mischievous little one. Whenever you get an itch down in your taint, you know that Grundle Smurf is moving about.
Yeah. Even Gargamel was like, ugh.
Yeah. That's right. The only thing that works on him is Mando. You have to keep him smothered in Mando.
I went
to
go get some Mando the other day, by the way, and god damn, is that shit expensive?
It is. You look a fresh taint's not cheap. A fresh taint is.
I'm not doing this. I'm gonna stick.
You can you have your own duck butter, your own spam. You just put your end down there. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with my $3 speed stick.
Yeah,
nice.
Instead of a $14 Mando.
It's nice though, man. It's nice to never have to worry about what's going on down there, because you don't ever have to worry about it.
I mean, I generally don't.
Yeah.
Wait, Mando makes a variety of products. Are you talking about the ball deodorant?
Yeah, the cream. Well, they have like a stick too, and they have a spray. I've used all of them, but the cream is the best.
All right.
I didn't see the cream. I don't know what that's all about. I gotta look.
Oh, you didn't? What were you looking at?
They had just had the sticks.
Oh yeah, the sticks suck because you can't. How do you stick your taint? Your balls.
You got to pry it apart.
Yeah, but then you can't. Rubbing a deodorant stick on your nuts hurts. You can't just. But the cream you just put in your finger, you rub it all in there.
That's
what I mean. You give, and who knows what that turns
said.
into? That turns into a happy time. You know what I mean? Like, so you just
what?
The cream is the best.
Aren't you just like does it kind of like soak it up like lotion, or are you just like
Yes.
sloppy down there?
No, it
Okay.
does. It's so basically you get out of the shower and you lather up your balls and your crevices and then your ass, and you just got to rub it in real good. Okay, so I always do a second layer. I always do the man pond on top of that. So maybe if you don't do a man pond, it does get a little creamy back there if you're walking. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, this all makes sense. It's all connected. Just
The Mando man pond connection is it's I mean, you could eat out of your butthole if you do those two things on a daily basis.
the ABC has never been so fresh.
Yeah, it's like yes.
There's more names for it. I have to think of them.
I think it was either Gooch or Grundle that I was confusing with Chode.
Yeah,
but I thought for sure that Chode was just another word for taint. That when I found out what it really was, I couldn't stop laughing.
Or if you're like a fancy Frenchman or French Canadian, it's the Grundle.
Grundle.
Yeah. You gotta put a different emphasis on the different syllable.
So it's LE, not EL.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Grundle, yeah.
Grundle.
Sophisticated guys. The Grundle.
It's like the difference between angel and angle that people so oftenly misspell.
Yes. Hell's angles.
It's angel
Yeah.
and angle, people. That's how you figure out which one is spelled which way.
Yeah.
It's not angel. It's angel.
But it could be if you want to be French enough. But I don't think anybody really wants that.
No.
No, nobody wants that.
Well, their taints smell like cheese anyway. So
The French might want that. But
Wait,
don't
what
want
kind
that
of
French
cheese?
Grundle.
I might get down there. Depends on what kind of cheese you're talking about.
True.
they're not good kind.
I don't think. I don't know. Is there any? If you get down there and it smells like cheese, I don't know if there's any pleasant kind of cheese.
Oh, there's plenty of pleasant.
It could look. Here's what I'm saying. It might smell good for cheese, but you don't want your taint smelling like any kind of cheese. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, right.
Well, I love Parmesan.
Except for Parmesan.
Oh, so
but my
Parmesan.
little sack never smells like Parmesan. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if you give the duck butter enough time to ferment, then you get duck cheese. There you go.
There you go.
And that one scene from The Breakfast Club where Ali Sheedy is rubbing her head in the dandruff is coming off on the illustration. That's actually Parmesan cheese.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's what they tell themselves. Those dandruff people.
So my 80s movies adventures have been I mean, it's kind of ongoing. This is just something that I put together just because it was something I had been looking into in addition to, I don't know, I had to like take a break from doing cult stuff because I'm doing the thesis right now, and that's like all I do.
Yeah.
And so it was just a way to get my mind off of something. But what I found fun, and this kind of came full circle for me, is that wrestling meat is actually mentioned in the Breakfast Club. I'm just he's like, I have a wrestling meet this weekend. And I was like, well, shit, this isn't, this is in line with recent events. I'm like, fuck, this is it for me. And I think that just like, that's how I knew I was on the right path.
Yep.
Yeah. When Ron said wrestling meet, my brain did not hear that the correct way.
Yeah. That went straight to Trash Panda.
Well, yeah, that's meat only means one thing to me.
Sustenance.
Well, now it means many things.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a wrestler in that movie. That's right. It's funny.
Wrestling meat and wrestling veggies are the same thing.
It is. Ooh, we gotta have an episode called Wrestling Gravy. That sounds. Oh, that sounds tasty.
Oh, wrestling. Well, okay. I mean, gravy makes everything better, right?
Hell yeah.
It's like liquid bacon.
Hell yeah. Wrestling gravy can be so many things.
Wait, okay. What kind of gravy is wrestling gravy? Is it au jus? Is it mushroom gravy? I feel like that's the one. Is it is it like sausage gravy? Oh, it could be that too.
Yeah, the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of my time on the mat rolling around with another man is is au jus. Yeah, I'm trying to dial back experience.
It's mushroom gravy. I never thought about gravy like this before.
Yeah.
If you really
Or you
wanted to.
wrestling in gravy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you producing the gravy?
Yeah.
Or are
Yeah.
you wrestling in the gravy?
It's both.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's like when you make a chicken and you just use the drippings to make a gravy. You're technically producing it and bathing in it.
This is like when you're wrestling and you make a gravy.
Yes.
which is now a new sport.
Well, it would have to be like
Yeah.
really it would have to be like hot yoga, like you'd have to have hot wrestling.
Well, they do.
And
They
the
do.
meats have to go for, and each match has to go for at least 10 minutes. So you really get that gravy cooking. It doesn't matter if you get pinned or not, you just keep going.
Well, in
maybe
Indian wrestling,
10 minutes, maybe 20.
in Indian wrestling, they lather each other up before they get
Yes.
before they step out of the mats.
Yeah, you rub some onions on you, get in there, like maybe shove some, root vegetables in your singlet crotch so that those get a little steamy.
Then eggplants.
Eggplants, yeah, eggplants.
Yeah.
Some sweet potatoes, slice and dice them, shove them right in that grundle area in the singlet.
You can only use vegetables that represent phallic symbols.
Yes.
So just about any vegetable.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Well, no.
Well, except for red onions.
Those are the ball.
Well, yeah, I guess it could be circular too, because the balls. Yes.
You bring them to the meet in a Sacoccio. that's it's required. It's part of the required uniform.
It is. And then at the end of the meet, both schools get together and have a nice meal.
See, Ron, this is how you make your millions. You can have Sacoccio brand Sacoccios.
Yes.
Yeah. For wrestling meets.
All right, I'm gonna make this. I'll be on Shark Tank in no time. How many have you sold? None. So it's a small bag in a small bag that you put in your wrestling singlet. Yes.
Well, yeah, you bring it to a wrestling meet that carries your wrestling meats and your wrestling veggies. With the hope that there's going to be wrestling gravy.
I'm currently in talks with 7 high schools who think it's a good idea.
They're all inner city.
And oddly enough, 1 elementary school, which is weird. That doesn't even have a wrestling team, but the principal is really interested. So 80s movies.
Mm-hmm.
You think, okay, so if they're all in the same universe, all right, so they're all in the same universe.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's possible that the principal from the Breakfast Club is the head principal and Ed Rooney from Ferris Bueller is the vice principal?
The guy in Breakfast Club isn't the principal. He's just a counselor, I think. I don't think he's the principal. I could be wrong. Hang on.
I think he is. I think he is the principal.
Is he?
I think. Says, I got my eye on you.
Principal of Breakfast Club. Probably.
Because He's on the cover of a No Use for a Name 7-inch
Richard
doing
Vernon
this.
is the
with the horns up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, all right. So he's vice principal for Richard Vernon. So
He's the vice principal. Okay.
he's a vice principal. So do you think Rooney is his overlord, like his boss?
Yeah. Could that possibly be the same high school that Ferris Bueller goes to?
I think Shermer High School is mentioned in a lot of his movies.
It is. This is the grand unifying theory.
I don't think it features in any of the movies except Breakfast Club, but I think Shermer.
It's got to be the same high school. I bet you it is. So
It is
Ferris
Shermer,
Bueller
right?
goes. So Ferris Bueller goes to that school too.
Let me see. It is Shermer, right?
All right. Shermer High School is a fictional high school in the movies of John Hughes, including Breakfast Club and Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this is the same. So I think this is the same.
And Weird Science and 16 Candles.
Oh shit.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it's the same high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Because that's a more interesting story.
Yeah.
It's featured. Okay, so they go to Shermer and Weird Science, 16 Candles, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's it right there. It's that's we it's fact now. Not because 1.5 million people have come to this conclusion before we have, but because it's on the Our Brains Hurt podcast now. So fact.
And fun fact, so that school was based off of Maine North High School, which is now an Illinois State Police Department headquarters.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Which now goes along with everything else that we've ever said on this podcast. Also fact.
Yes. If we say it, you believe it. That's the motto of Our Brains Hurt and every cult leader that ever lived.
I have conceded. I have conceded. There are no pubes in heaven.
Our brains hurt. We say it, you believe it.
End of story.
I'm making those t-shirts tonight.
Yeah. Our brains hurt. We say it, you believe it.
Hell yeah.
Can I get a trucker hat?
Yes. That's a cool thing that we fleshed out tonight. That Shermer High School was like the high school.
Well, how are you guys for time?
I can go a little longer, or unless you want to cut it and do a part 2 at some point.
I could probably use to get off here in a second. So
okay.
Maybe we do a part 2 here soon.
Yes.
Maybe we do a part 2 next week. Who knows?
Yes. I'm down if you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, fellas.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. I'll talk to you guys in a week or a little less.
Hell yeah.
All right. Later, guys.
All right. Later, guys. Thanks.
Bye.
All right. Later.
Later.
How do I do this shit? I can still hear you. So what do I have to press? Close.